Lugia V-Star has a couple day 2 finishes so far in Arlington and Orlando this year, and is looking to improve on that with that top 8 at least.
Yeah, this is looking to be Billy's best finish so far, and still has a few rounds to improve on that. So hoping to find some good news here. Prize cards for Zander, looking rough. Billy with the double bosses orders isn't exactly the greatest either.
It does play 3 of them and a copy of Serena to go along with it, so still a couple gust effects in the deck, but those 2 move you in the top of the prize cards. That's gotta sting.
And for Zander, this is not a list that features the 1/1 Aerodactyl. So seeing that path to the peak is also a little bit disheartening. Just one path, hoping to lock that and block the Summoning Star. We'll see how that works out here in round 14.
Zander is starting things off, has that Oricorio in the active spot, Mew V on the bench, double turbo energy, has the Ultra Ball for Genesect V, and then even a Cram-O-Matic to try to hit that Battle VIP pass.
Yep, big opportunity here. Gotta find the right side of the die to get a little bit lucky, but Zander, great opportunity. Solid start here. A little unfortunate. I think the Pal Pad is the card that would be lost, and you're seeing a couple of those nice supporter cards going to be tossed away early. So we'll see if there's a strategy where you even try to use that and then Genesect for 2 and then find a card with the Cram-O-Matic, or if we can even risk that at this point.
I like using that Cram-O-Matic first. I think it was, what, just a Pal Pad? But
yeah, so it just depends if you value those cards. I mean, of course,
yeah.
There's always Silene that can bring back everything, and you never really lose cards in Mew unless the Lost City says so. So this is a big opportunity. Yeah, look at this. Zander really likes those cards there, so he's going to hold on to them, and this is a little bit of a risk. If we don't see an item card or a Pokemon to add to the board, this could be a very slow opening turn.
Yeah, I think that is just due to the fact that only 2 bosses orders, the 1 Roxanne and 3 Judge in the list. You know, Xander's known for not really playing many draw supporters in the deck, and no stranger here. Does find the power tablet, though, but a Tails.
Well, there's, I think it was a Pokemon, but maybe it was the Mew V Max. So I guess I need to be a little more specific next time with what you can find off the top of the deck, as that will slow this turn down to a screeching halt. And Billy loves to see that, starting things off there with the Evolution Incense. Will this Archeops hit the discard pile?
Listen, Zander got what you wanted to get turn 1. Energy on a Mew V. Next turn, you can evolve into the V Max. You can do all your drawing next turn. Just don't draw into Battle VIP Pass.
That's not okay. Battle VIP Pass is the reason that this deck is so prominent in the meta. What's the old strategy? Get 10 in the discard pile and you'll be fine. I think Zander has like 4 or 5, even lower because he pal-padded some resources back in. So not helping himself out in that metric.
Meanwhile, Billy is adding the metric of double Archeops Ultra Ball turn 1 to those stats, and has that Luminion V for a Professor's Research, and this hand's looking pretty good. Maybe even a Lugia V in the hand to go along with it.
Skarzig Stradamus calling it out. And this is exactly how Lugia wants to start things off here on the big stage. Lugia in the hand as well. And that V-Guard energy is something that we were looking to talk about in this matchup. It's a big way to keep this Lugia V-Star around, but Zander, he teched for it. He's got the Fan of Waves that he's included in this list, the one of, hoping to remove that at the right time and maybe use that as a way to change the damage around and get that knockout when your opponent's not ready for it.
Against Lugia, it's essentially another power tablet in this matchup. But we're going to see Billy start just off amazing. Discards a 3rd Archeops with that Professor's Research. Now you get a few different Pokemon in hand, have that 2nd Lugia V. You have the Evolution Incense for Lugia V-Star on the following turn. And we're going to put that on top of the deck with Oranguru.
Yeah, even better. The Choice Belt is in the hand too. So if you are potentially looking at a Mew VMAX on the other side, as we see now for Zander, there is the reach with powerful energies and that belt to potentially take a big 3-prize knockout.
The 2 cards were actually pretty perfect, but not for each other. For a Sealstone and that Quick Ball, you can force Sealstone for another Genesect, draw 2, then you can Quick Ball for another one, but just opting for the Quick Ball here Gonna grab another Genesect V, draw 3 cards, and hope those 3 cards can help you out. And then that one Path to the Peak in hand for Zander.
Yeah, that must be the worst card to look at this stage, as you know that's how you want to end this turn, but it's just clogging up the hand, the 1-card hand. And you want to find as many Pokemon as you can to get things rolling, and this is just going very
Roxanne?
slow. I don't
We
think
put it back with Palpad, and it's showing its head again here.
Can you get like a quadruple prize penalty and use it? I feel like that's we're in some rough territory. It is path pass. Hope that your opponent does not have the answer.
Well, we have that Lugia V-Star. That is step 1. Could it be another Primate Wisdom? Hope to draw a Lost Vacuum from the deck, or a way to get Pumpkaboo?
Yeah, that's.
Well, Pumpkaboo wouldn't really be that good here. You bench is full.
Yeah, you'd have to go old solo chops. That's not what we're looking for right here. Maybe there's a way to draw with the Serena and to find some cards.
The hand's pretty big, though. You're not going to really draw that many cards here.
I'm not optimistic about the play. I just see the play. Yep, it might be time for the monkey to help out. We will find out. How many cards do you feel comfortable committing? Do you want to show that choice belt early, or do you want to wait to have everything lined up?
Boss's orders, Genesect V. If things don't work out.
We see the Aurora Energy thin. Throw away that Raikou. Belt will be committed. And we're going to throw away the whole hand, it looks like. Goodbye.
The whole kit and caboodle here. 5 cards for Billy. Needs to find Lost Vacuum. Just 1 copy in the deck. And wow, finds the Irida throughout that, but not able to play it now since you played that Serena.
Well, let's see if the monkey has anything to say.
Nope.
No. I think you feel fairly comfortable. Irida on the top of the deck. You've got this Lugia with the belt ready to go. And your opponent has shown diddly.
Well, Zander just drew a Judge, and a Judge is a way to get around that Primate Wisdom from Billy. And brand new hand for Zander. That's exactly what he needs, because this has been a non-starter so far this game.
Yep, over on Zander's side. Guess you're just looking for a way to move that Oricorio, start doing some damage, and hopefully that path sticks around for a little bit. Another Mew would be great as well. You can potentially see that as a free retreat option, and then you can see those switching effects provide some use. You can get multiple attacks off with that Mew VMAX at some point, but you get a lot of cards to start flowing the right direction. I guess Escape Rope is a great way to start things off there. We'll be landing some nice damage.
And depending on what Billy brings up, you can just take the knockout here, not bump the path to the peak.
I like this from Billy. He says, you know what, take some prize cards. I need the bench space. If I'm relying on a Pumpkaboo, I can get double chops out now, and we'll easily have a knockout lined up on this Mew VMAX. That's a 3-2 exchange that you're always coming out on top in.
Oh, and Zander seems to have heard you. Glistening droplets from the Cross Fusion Strike. 5 damage on that Lugia V-Star. And Zander knows, yeah, you need that bench space for Pumpkaboo. Most lists only play 1 Lost Vacuum now. There's a lot you got to do.
Yep. Jet lag, not an experience that Zander is familiar with. He is playing big time here. Going for the pro plays. Billy's still looking for some help here. Going to be reliant on the Marnie to try to get out of this mess. This single path doing a lot of work. Triple quick ball.
All right, you can get Pumpkaboo and use Pumpkin Pit, but you're going to get 1 Archeops out and have to play the entire game with just 1 Primal Turbo.
Might be the strategy at this point. There's not much else you can really do. If you had energies in hand, maybe you could see a world where you put enough pressure on with the Lugia, where your opponent just takes the prize cards that are available for them. Billy wisely going to start removing some of these Pokemon. It doesn't need Stoutland to the discard pile. Pumpkaboo into the hand.
You're telling me Double Dip Fangs couldn't get that 40 damage through?
It could try. There's Oricorio. There's a lot of issues there.
Rangaroo, Primate Wisdom, going to put a card on top. It's going to be that Professor's Research. Ooh, finds a double turbo energy. That's not bad.
That was like the one card that would make me question if I go for the pumpkin right now. is if I find an energy, maybe there's enough time. And sure enough, Billy thinks so too. It's
Listen, can they hear us?
right? Like that was basically it. Because if you find an energy next turn, you retreat, you put enough pressure on with this Lugia, and maybe you feel comfortable waiting to get the double Archeops out.
Zander has another judge in hand, I believe, though, and that's going to be perfect because it shuffles away that Professor's Research on the top and the Pumpkaboo that was searched out. Finds that second Mew V.
Final Mew V.
Yeah, final Mew V.
And Judge, well-timed. We saw all those quick balls, and that's a problem, I guess, that we could mention with the thinning strategy is if you're not going to use the pumpkin, which you thought you were going to. You didn't think you were going to find the double turbo energy, but now you have less outs to the pumpkin or the, well, I guess if you can find the vacuum itself, but big risk here now off the Judge. We'll see how the cards fall.
Meanwhile, what we thought would be terrible prizes for Zander turns out to be pretty okay. The one Path to the Peak putting in work. He got both Mews down pretty early.
Finds a boss's orders. You don't have to worry about switching effects. Use glistening droplets. And let's get rid of that choice belt. Mew VMAX wants to stick around a little while.
Yeah, let's get that lost zone counter up. One lost zone for both players.
Yep, if the Sableye comes down, I'm going to leave.
Could you imagine?
The pressure once more on this Lugia. So if you don't find an energy in the next 4 turns, see you later. Wow, look at this hand.
Yeah, it is energy. Found the pumpkin again.
It's just not the one he wants. The vacuum would be so great. You don't have to worry about the bench space. You find the double Archeops, and then you have so many different options, especially having both Archeops means you have access to eventually use that amazing rare Evital for a big knockout on a 3-prize Mew VMAX. And at this point, do you just try to get aggressive with that Lugia and put your opponent in a situation where they have to take knockouts? I think that's the line.
And now you can use Tempest Dive from Lugia V-Star to deal damage and discard the Stadium in play. But the problem is you're going to discard the Stadium, but it's going to be Zander's turn. You can just go through the deck again and start drawing some cards that he hasn't really been able to do.
Yep, this is a great opportunity for Zander to start to look through the deck, accumulate some of those resources, maybe those damage amplifiers, to line up some future knockouts with this backup Mew V. And although we know it won't end with a Path to the Peak, unless Silene works its magic, then it's going to be at least an opportunity for Billy to get rolling next turn.
And with Tempest Dive, it does 180 thanks to that double turbo and that Oricorio reduction. Still enough to take a 2-hit knockout with most Pokemon on the Mew VMAX, and does remember to discard that Path to the Peak. It is a May effect.
Yeah, you confirm that. He's like, oh, you want to get rid of that? Okay, interesting that you want to use the best ability in the game.
Primal Turbo? Yeah. Yeah. What comes first, the Primal Turbo or the Summoning Star?
Well, if you get the Primal Turbo without the Summoning Star, then you're just a demon. I do not want to see fossils anywhere.
All right, off this Judge, 4 cards for Zander, and now has access to those Fusion Strike systems from Genesect V. Has a little bit of thinning in hand to do. A couple Cramomatics, this Quick Ball.
This is the best hand that Zander has seen all game.
Items.
Yeah, just looking for cards that can be played. And sure enough, has those now. Access to one of those many Genesects, as there's no other Pokemon left. Zander's like, wait a second, really? Yeah, I guess I'll just continue to draw cards. That's pretty good. Has the Cramomatic in hand and held onto the switch, which is another great resource when you're switching between these Mew Vs.
Now with the 100 damage on that Lugia V-Star, that means it has technically 210 HP left, which is perfectly enough for the choice belted Mew VMAX to take a knockout with Technoblast. No need to find something like a Fan of Waves, the cute combo to push that V-Guard energy back into the deck.
Yeah, you don't want it back because then your opponent just brings it back for the next Lugia, and you have a world of pain there. Here's Rotom Phone. Zander talked about how good and or awful this card is, because it's great when it works. But when you stare at 5 bad cards, it's the worst decision of your life.
You have to draw one of them.
He said he reread the card a few times to see if you had to take one.
Well, takes one now, and it looks to be pretty good. Going to draw it with this Fusion Strike system up to 6.
Yep, he's holding on to a
tablets.
bunch of resources, thinking about eyeing up the next knockout on that Lugia V-Star.
Is there an avenue where you retreat this Mew VMAX and take the knockout with 1 power tablet and the one on the bench?
I think the fact that you're not knocked out by Amazing Shot makes you feel a little more comfortable by this. You could switch the Mews between each other and maybe avoid some prize cards being exchanged.
Well, there is that power tablet, so I think we're going to see a retreat. Fan of Waves found off that last card from Fusion Strike system. And there is that retreat. We're going to see Cross Fusion Strike copying Technoblast for the knockout. Zander going down to 4 prizes here.
Yeah, and I love this from Zander. He's using the coin to indicate that he used the Fusion Strike's Cross Fusion so that he knows for next turn that he does have to perform some switching action at some point.
Yeah, you still use all effects of the attacks that you get to use, and the effect from Technoblast is you cannot attack next turn. With the active Pokemon, of course.
Yes. Well, we'll see what Billy's response is.
Oh,
finally,
it's a pretty good one, Summoning Star.
Using that amazing ability. Both the Archeops ready to roll. Is there access to the knockout here? We see the Amazing Rare Evital being looked at the tippy top.
This would be the turn to do it. You have a fresh Mew VMAX in the active spot, and you already have that energy to retreat off that Luminion V with the capture energy for the turn. So as long as you have enough Auroras, which you do in the deck, Primal Turbo can charge up that Evital and use Amazing Destruction this turn. 3 prizes and just a damaged Mew VMAX for Zander on the bench.
Yep, and if you can find those boss's orders, then you're going to be in a great spot to close things out. I think that the way that they were positioned, Billy may be able to see one of them, but Zander clearly going to be looking for a Roxanne on the following turn to try to cause some disruption. The problem is, if you're going to do anything relevant, it's with that damaged Mew VMAX. There is not another Mew ready to go.
There is the 5 energy on Evital. Always super scary to see this Amazing Destruction powered up in just the 1 turn thanks to those Archeops.
Yeah, I won't miss this. I'm ready to see the other versions of Lugia where you have to play a little more fair. But this is some astounding stuff.
And this is where Zander could have dug a little bit more. You have that 4 Sealstone to find something like that copy of Big Parasol to stop the effect of Amazing Destruction, but didn't go for it. And with that clean Mew VMAX, it gets knocked out in 1 hit. And now you have this uphill battle.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is a tricky spot to be in now, as you want to obviously take the knockout, but you're worried about your opponent just being able to knock you out in this situation. There's no good Pokemon to attack with. Is this a situation where you try to just get your opponent on a dead hand and promote something like Oricorio by time, but you don't have another Mew?
Yeah, what are you even talking about? Like, it's just everything's on board. You're going to Primal Turbo. Anything can take a knockout, essentially.
Well, you got to run away. That's a foregone conclusion. Silene has to be the answer now to at least bring a Mew back into play.
Yeah, 2 prize still.
Well, if you're going to roll heads, now's the time. And you got to be kidding me.
Double tails off Silene.
Goodbye.
And no Mew V means no Psychic Leap. And Zander has to scoop up and go to game 2.
Yep. Takes it in stride. Laughs it off. Says, you know what? Maybe I'll flip some heads in the next one. Billy, playing it very comfortably, did not feel pressured at all in any of those situations. And I love the fact that he saw that double turbo that 1 turn and pivoted the strategy, waited it out, and was able to get the double Archeops down and work it into full effect there with the Amazing Rare Evital on that perfect turn.
Yeah, essentially waiting 2 extra turns to Summoning Star, but it was worth it because you Primal Turboed twice in that game, and it was to charge up that amazing rare.
That's all you need. And you have to have it all in that one turn, and it does lead me to question Zander not using that Forest Sealstone on that turn to get the big Parasol. Force your opponent to have that one of tool card that lost vacuum.
Yeah, usually you see the Forest Sealstone get out of a Path to the Peak or even find it at the end of the turn. And with the second one being prized, there was no real option for that.
Tough. Good news. It was just 20 minutes. We got plenty of time for a great game 2, potentially game 3. If Zander can work his magic, we'll see what the cards have in store for us here as we move into the second game.
Zander is going to be going first. You always want to go first against a Lugia deck, and especially when you're a Mew deck that you have to evolve.
Let's see what the prize cards look like this time. One Mew V. Oh no, not again. Stop. Please stop. We need those.
They're tired.
They are tired. They're jet lagged. Maybe they took the trip to Italy with them. Billy down the choice belt and a powerful energy, so maybe the reach to knock out that Mew with a Lugia won't be around.
Well, at least Zander's going to have the bad news. The first thing has the quick ball. He's looking to discard that Lost City. He's going to have to find a Mew V, and it's going to be the only way to really find Mew V.
This is, yay, there's one. Please tell me there's two. Oh no, that's it.
There's two. All right.
Yep, this is pretty unfortunate. It just, not having the third always means that you're completely reliant on both those Pokemon sticking around. Those 6 prize cards, they fall pretty quickly in this matchup if Billy finds the right answers.
Zander just taking down some notes, probably a frowny face.
I could see that, yep. Big sad. Thankfully, the rest of the hand is solid. It can be played. There's the Forest Sealstone if you want to really commit to this opening turn.
I don't know if it's that solid. Like, you got the Forest Sealstone for the Battle VIP pass.
That's solid.
Okay.
Battle VIP pass for Mew is solid. That's it. That is my explanation. If you're able to draw more than 3 cards, then you're having a much better turn than Zander did last game.
Great insight, Kyle.
That's what I'm here for. Well, hopefully these lead to some decent cards added to the hand. We can see this turn continue. The double turbo added, and here we go.
Well, no, that was this game.
No, that was this game. You just got the Battle VIP pass.
The jet lag setting in
Pretty
now.
sneaky.
Still didn't shuffle the deck as well. All right.
Oh, yep. Zander's just trying to survive this opening turn.
Found another Battle VIP pass. Get it out. Get that Oricorio.
Yep, looks like a solid addition to the team. Hopefully can keep these Mew Vs, eventual Mew V Maxes around, and does have that big Parasol early, which is kind of bad news. Yeah, thinking about it and maybe not playing it. Got to look at Billy's hands, and I think he has to play Professor's Research. He's holding the Lost Vacuum, so he's dying for an excuse to play that card.
I guess the one benefit is if you get Path to the Peak in play this turn and forces Billy to make an awkward decision, you either go for the Path to the Peak or the big Parasol.
Looks like there's one last opportunity at that. Could thin down the hand a little bit, use the Cram-O-Matic, and try to lock in the stadium. Of course, has that final Genesect in the active to use, but just going to hold on to these resources. Oh boy, this hand didn't get any better.
Lugia V-Star or Energy can discard an Archeops, but
double research.
And I think it's what, 2 V-Star in hand? No, just the 1. Okay.
Well, does get to cash in on this. Feels great and awful at the same time. But at least you don't have to worry about the big Parasol. Still have to worry about getting that pumpkin at the right time, but thankfully with the Lugia V already down, maybe you can consider that as you're building the bench. Leave room for that pumpkin.
All right, this hand's much better.
Yeah, just start with this hand next time, Billy.
He'll make a note.
Okay. It's next to Zander's frowny face. They're using the same piece of paper.
quick ball, discarding that second Archeops, is going to be able to find another Lugia V here if Billy wants, which most likely you would want. If Mew is good at one thing, it is dealing 220 damage turn 2.
Yep, I definitely expect to see that. There's one issue with starting the Lugia V. You don't get to just lose a single prize Pokemon. The damage is going to accumulate at a rapid pace, which means that you have to have the perfect response every turn.
There is that second Lugia V. You have that Evolution Incense, can thin a little more, but you can also save it for a V-Star on the following turn, especially if something like a Judge happens.
I think the consideration now is just use it to thin, get the Archeops, throw it away with Read the Wind, and hopefully see some better cards for next turn. But do you really get to hold on to this hand?
No, not at all.
Never. The right Pokemon is already in the active spot for Zander. Definitely expect to see that Judge in combination with the Path and really put Billy in an awkward spot now.
Well, we found the Lugia V-Star off that Evolution Incense. Quick Ball is going to be used.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. And you want to have that Quick Ball available off of the Judges, even though the 1% opportunity to find that card for the Pumpkaboo to keep you in the game, as you have to see that the next turn is going to be this Lugia with nothing, and you with 4 cards, top decking one more and hoping to see the perfect answer to Path and a giant Mew VMAX.
Well, here is the Read the Wind. Doesn't use that Quick Ball, just discards the Stoutland V, draws 3 cards.
Yep. Doesn't matter what they are. The resources will likely be found. And Escape Rope being used means that the energy gets to stick around. Not the end of the world there, but at least this Genesect is moved.
And that was the biggest thing. Genesect 2 retreat costs. You don't want to use that double turbo energy to retreat it. And the heads on the Cramomatic. This is going to find something like the Choice Belt to just guarantee the knockout most likely. You can also grab Path to the Peak maybe. That's going to be an important part in this turn.
Yeah, I suppose if you're going to order it right, you want to make sure that you have the knockout first, and then you can lean into finding the additional resources like the Path to the Peak off of the Genesect. You could even do that post-Judge if you have those resources.
Zander does find that Power Tablet, and this means he's going to be looking for that big Parasol. Saw what happened to Game 1 and does not want to, or sorry, it's already gone.
Yeah, the opening tablet is interesting, but it actually makes a little sense when you start to think about the way that the deck plays. Obviously, the Choice Belt is always going to be a great way to add damage, but the Power Tablet, knowing where it is, can be important, because you can always bring that back with Silene, and that could be the potential extra amplifier that you needed out of nowhere to get the big knockout. So I don't hate seeing this card down early.
Ultra Ball grabs a second Mew VMAX, and now pretty well set up for Zander, and has just used 1 Fusion Strike system.
So take an opportunity, try to draw into the Path now if you can find it.
Ooh.
And does find that along with the double turbo energy.
That was a pretty great draw here. Has the Judge in hand as well, and opts to play the Judge, play the Path. This is what you want to see against a deck like Lugia, especially when they use their 1 Lost Vacuum already.
It is pumpkin time, and we have the Quick Ball, as Billy decided to hold on to that. Still plenty of outs to those cards, but in doing so, you also need some additional resources to find Lugia V-Star and get the resources to attack into this Mew VMAX for relevant damage. So it has to be a really good set of cards here off the Judge.
And one of the outs for a low hand size for Billy is something like Quick Ball for Lumineon V, but now you don't really have access to that. You have to get the Pumpkaboo first.
That's not it.
And there is the knockout thanks to Technoblast and that Power Tablet. Zander misses those Mew Vs in the prizes yet again, and now it's Billy's chance to try to figure out this Summoning Star turn.
I'm going to come back for you guys, I promise. Just need a couple more prize cards.
Capture energy on the active Lugia V. Can find something like a Rangaroo to dig a little bit more this turn, but I think it's going to have to be reliant on something like a Marnie.
I think if you play the Pumpkaboo fast enough, you get to use the ability. We'll see if that still lines up.
I would not recommend that strategy for y'all at home. That does not work that way. Capture energy puts the Pokemon straight to the bench. No chance to use any coming into play abilities.
Boo. All right, well then it's monkey time. Come on. No,
Or Lugia V.
We're not going to risk the 1 in 30.
Listen, it happens a lot.
That's
all
true.
right.
Well, we already used enough. We've done like 3 or 4 on stream already.
The well is running dry for the Primate Wisdom. Just grabs that Lugia V, hoping to have it stick around for a little bit longer, because if your only Lugia V gets knocked out, you're not going to be able to V-Star and Summoning Star the following turn.
All right, this is huge. Big Marnie opportunity. Needs to see 5 great cards, or else there's just going to be too many prize cards taken on the other side. Pumpkaboo is found.
Hey, and a Rangaroo. We're going to see it.
Well, Rangaroo needs to find Lugia V-Star.
Yeah, you need a Rangaroo first. 2 Archeops are already in the discard. It's going to be a Lugia V-Star off the top of the deck.
You're going to call that right now?
I'm calling it Evolution Incense.
Okay. Let's go, Monkey. Primate Wisdom time. 1 big card. Zander's thinking it's the pumpkin. That's already found. We'll see what is there for Billy.
Or an energy. Okay. Don't clip that. It's fine.
You heard the man. Clip it.
No, just our disappointment.
Well, you got the pumpkin, but at what cost? 3 special energies is the rest of the hand.
I don't know about playing it down here either, though.
This does not feel good. Yep, read the wind. And Path could just be replayed. You just opened up the avenue for Zander to draw more cards, and 2 prize cards are easily available when you announce retreat to Mew VMAX.
Still will need a damage modifier in a power tablet or choice belt, but Xander's in a pretty good position, even with that Tails from Cramomatic. Ultra Ball clearing the hand out as well. We're going to draw 6 cards to start things off with Fusion Strike System.
That is a level of comfort I've never experienced. Throw away the double turbo and full draw of 6. Plenty of opportunities to draw into the amplifier necessary. Take the prize cards to get up 4 prizes. And you have to think that there will be an opportunity to knock out a V Pokemon on the following turn.
Honestly, I think Zander just wins if you stick Path to the Peak in play. It is not moving unless you want it to.
He could close his eyes and probably figure out a way to win this one at this point. There's so many resources that help out here. Power Tablet is going to be a big one. And if this Cramomatic finds the path to the peak, it's basically GG.
All right, another Tails, but Rotom Phone and a couple Ultra Ball.
There it is. Whew. Now it's his favorite card again.
Yep.
Welcome back to the team.
I'm picking you first, Rotom Phone. Path to the Peak goes to the top of the deck. Fusion Strike System will draw 4 more cards, and that's not even going to be the end of the turn. You can Ultra Ball Fusion Strike System yet again.
Yep. Zander has the opportunity to make the rest of his deck damage amplifiers and boss's orders. Doesn't even feel the need to do that just yet. Just going to go for the disruption, which doesn't need to.
Ultra
Okay,
Ball,
I'm going
clear
to
the hand first.
Okay, and we will see that. The hand wasn't great, but I guess when you see your opponent use Pumpkin Pit and then read the wind, you start to wonder if they had something else that could be worked into the mix, but you don't have full access to all the information of what your opponent's deck is, so maybe playing to that out of another lost vacuum.
4 cards for both players. Zander finishing drawing for the turn. Has the retreat because, you need to. And, hey, after this long turn, it's very good to have that reminder with that coin.
Absolutely. Love seeing that, and that's going to be 2 prize cards taken for Zander now. Finds another amplifier and a Mew.
With 16 minutes left in this match, I would love to see Billy just scoop it up here, go to game 3. Path to the Peak. You already used your Lost Vacuum. You used your Pumpkaboo. No way to Summoning Star here. And, yep, scooping up the cards. We're going to get to game 3.
Yep. My favorite words to say. I'll go first. Feels really good as a Lugia player. You don't really care that your opponent took a game on you. You just need an opportunity to try to get 3 match points. As these players did come in with different records. Zander with 32, Billy with 31. So desperation mode for Billy to at least get a tie out of this one, but would love the victory. And Zander with the win would be at 35 match points.
So you're saying Xander's a lock if he wins.
They're literally talking about the score as I'm saying it too. Like, I'm worried now that we might be talking too loud.
Billy at 34 would still need a tie to potentially bubble in, seeing as how the previous tournaments have gone. But 35 match points is a pretty stellar accomplishment to make top 8.
Yep, this has been a great accomplishment for both players. I was speaking with Zander earlier on, and I forget what his record was. I think it was 8-1-2 at the time, and he says, "Yeah, I'm basically locked for top 32." I'm like, why is that your mentality? That's so weird. He's like, well, the ceiling's top 8. I'm like, no, the ceiling is first, and the bottom is 8th. That is what you should be aiming for.
Listen, you got 35th the previous tournament, got top 64 the other few day 2s, top 128. Sometimes you're just hungry to break your own personal record for this season, and yeah, maybe aim it a little low. I won't discount that.
Reach for the stars, and if you miss, you'll land on the moon?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read my inspirational cat hanging on poster in a long time, so I'm missing out on that.
Now Billy does get to go first, which is going to be pretty good.
All right, prize cards, not
A few energy and a few Pokemon search.
not the worst. We can work with those.
At least it's not double Archeops.
At least it's not pumpkin and lost vacuum.
Yeah, that would be bad. Do have a mulligan from Zander here.
Yep. This time does add up. We do have 14 minutes remaining, but the good news is once both players get the ball rolling, we get into a situation where V max knockouts are occurring. So usually when these decks get into time, as long as 2 or 3 prize cards have been taken on each side, you do generally find a game result for a winner. Or choreo.
Like Zander found a Pokemon. Hey, no Mew V in the prize card.
We take those. It's going to be a good little game here in round 14 to close things out for maybe one of these players. Zander has an opportunity to get to 35 and feel very comfortable. Billy starting things off there with that Lugia V, the energy, but oh boy.
Just passing the turn. No way to get Archeops or get him in the discard, at least for now. Zander has 2 Mew V. Already at parity from the last 2 games in play. Looking to thin down the hand as much as possible. See how many cards you can draw off a supposed Genesect.
You ever force Seal Stone to the Mew? It doesn't feel good. It feels so bad.
Listen, that's why we're getting another Mew.
Just don't even get a Genesect at this point. Just get 4 Mews and get them all equipped with different tools. We'll accessorize.
Handy Mews instead of handymen.
I'll let you hold on to that one for a second. I was getting ready for a fashion show. You're over here ready to fix my sink.
Battle VIP Pass finds 2 Genesect V, just like Zander drew it up outside of the 4 Seal Stone on the Mew V. And now taking a quick look to see, yeah, I have 2 more Mew Vs in the deck. It's okay.
Do we ever see Silene Battle VIP Pass? Same Battle VIP Pass used twice to fill the board.
Honestly?
Kind of legit.
I mean, your opponent didn't really do much, so Judge might not be the best option right now.
There's an opportunity to stack the deck with 2 solid cards now. You could maybe put a double turbo on top, thin the hand down, Silene into the Battle VIP Pass, draw the hand to 4, and then you find the energy and the Battle VIP Pass to keep the ball rolling.
Well, I hate to break it to you. Judge was found off that Rotom phone, so it looks like Zander is eyeing down to play a Judge this turn.
All right, that's pretty good too.
It's not bad.
You have the Mew, you have free retreat, you feel comfortable. And obviously, when your opponent does not have any Archeops in the discard pile, you're in an interesting spot. Their hand could just be Archeops and Professor's Research, and they absolutely go to town. And instead, we're just going to say, you know what, get 4 cards, and hopefully none of them are chops, and we feel very comfortable with a path lock.
Listen, Kyle, I don't eat pork that often, so.
Not a chops guy.
No, no.
Oh, well, you wouldn't like the best deck in the format, then.
Now, Zander did just draw the 1 card off the Fusion Strike system into the Judge and played it right away. Still has access to 1 more, though, so as long as these cards are able to be played and thinned out of the hand, should be all right.
Yep, Battle VIP Pass, Quick Ball, Ultra Ball, all great ways to continue this turn, or just draw into a bunch of double turbos. Thankfully, does find the Quick Ball. Can throw away the double turbo if he wants to, and his hand can continue. But valuing those resources here, only going to go for the 2.
Those were a nice 2. Path to the Peak and a Cramomatic. Unfortunately, no other items other than that Quick Ball, so we'll just opt to Quick Ball because you're going to Cramomatic for Battle VIP Pass anyway. Might as well just get half of it, guaranteed.
I feel like this was a little bit lucky, but also I appreciate holding on to the second double turbo, as when you are in this situation where you have the opportunity to lock the path, the only thing that holds you back is finding the switch card every turn, and it's really hard to make sure you have that guaranteed. So if you have both energies on the Mew V Maxes, eventually you just switch between those 2 Pokemon and continue to chain together attacks.
Well, a tale as old as time, Judge and Path to the Peak.
And this is cute. Avoid an opportunity for your opponent to knock out one of these Mew Vs, and I think the escape rope is in hand, actually. So if nothing progresses on the other side for Billy.
Well, you know what's also in hand? Lost Vacuum.
Woo.
Gets rid of that Path to the Peak, and it's 1 less to deal with. You have Professor's Research in hand, discard Let, Lumineon V, and Radiant Charizard. 7 cards, still no Archeops in the discard.
We'll see if those are found here. 1 Archeops, the Evolution Incense, but 0 ways to put cards into the discard pile.
Yeah, this is going to be a slow turn. Basically, Billy just going second this game instead of first.
Tough. I suppose there is the... Is there even a way to move this Pokemon and start to read the wind? I'm not sure.
Nope.
Ooh.
Just a powerful colorless energy attached to the same Lugia V. You can spread them out, but you kind of need all of them if you want to take the knockout on a V Max on Zander's side of the board.
Well, committing that energy makes Lugia V a great target for Zander if he can find the right cards. But this escape rope in general feels good.
I like 2 prizes this turn. It's pretty good. Genesect V to go along with it. Draw 4 cards. Get the train rolling.
Finally had an opportunity to play 3 Mews and not going to go for it this time. Feels comfortable with the 2 Mews, potentially Mew V Maxes. Prize cards looking to be coming shortly, as this Lugia V will fall, and there are still 0 Archeops in the discard pile. Can you combine this with a Judge to make a really strong turn?
Gonna Lost Vacuum the 4 Seal Stone potentially here.
Not the Choice Belt?
Not the Choice Belt, yeah.
Tough.
Now an embarrassment of riches, getting rid of the Mew V that was so coveted these prior 2 games. And here is 3 more cards. Cramomatic for Sealstone, that's an easy discard.
Yep.
Has another Mew V Max to go along with it.
Look at that. Beautiful combo there. Going to have access to both the attackers needed for the match. An opportunity
to discard the Fan of Waves off the Cramomatic instead. It's not rotation yet. The tool card is still an item.
I guess Forest Sealstone's just a card that in general you can play and draw into additional resources. And Zander really does not like those powerful energies. Going to target down this Lugia V. Means the only way to knock out this Mew VMAX is going to be in 1 turn. It's going to be the Amazing Rare Evital. And with the tool being removed, that Forest Sealstone, it opens up the big Parasol potentially now.
And here is another 4 cards. Couple power tablets for the following turn potentially.
Still one more draw left with Genesect.
Path to the Peak found off the Rotom phone yet again.
So big. The exact card you're looking for in that situation. Going to be able to close out, and Billy already using the vacuum means that it is all about the pumpkin.
And then the last Fusion Strike System, one card. We know what it is. Path to the Peak, straight into play. Everything already taken care of. Cross Fusion Strike, Techno Blast, 220 damage for the knockout.
And that is not a good feeling, promoting the Raikou.
Now, Billy does have the Pumpkaboo in hand. It drew the Evolution Incense for the turn. A little late. Or I guess had it in hand, just couldn't discard the Archeops.
Yeah. So there's still a solid route here. You can add the Archeops into the hand. Professor's Research is also featured, but you're going to need to draw into the Lugia V-Star, I believe, if I saw everything correctly. And the Pumpkaboo, of course, clearing out that path to the Peak.
Is this the game where Billy just has to go Amazing Shot? There's no Oricorio down, so it will do the full 120, 120, soften up those Mew VMAX, maybe take knockouts with the Lugia V-Star.
I think once you see both powerful energies go down, you know that this is going to have to be the strategy that you work with. And even now, understands the Amazing Rare Evital needs to make an appearance too. Just got to play all these cards.
Might as well. Opting maybe not to play the Aurora Energy.
I think we play it. I don't see a reason not to.
Discard the Professor Research.
Oh, that's a strat that has not worked out. But this one definitely has an opportunity. Lugia V-Star needs to be found, and it's the first card in the window.
All right, just how we drew it up, right?
Was that in the script?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, with 4 minutes remaining, Billy's going to try to flip the script down in board state, but finally progressing, getting both these Archeops rolling.
Wow, a little awkward Aurora Energy and that Speed Lightning in hand for Billy. It's going to be pretty rough. Just try to charge up both Raikou and Yveltal here.
I mean, it has to be the last two Auroras, both available? Are they there? They are. That was risky. Yeah, I guess that's a point that we didn't think about there. But
you got to go for it.
There's nothing you could really do about it.
This second Primal Turbo is going to charge up that Lugia V-Star, hoping to clean up the damage from Amazing Shot in the next few turns. Opts for that powerful colorless energy and the capture. 120 damage will come down on both VMAX on Zander's side of the board, and Billy just has to hope.
And this is a spot where if you're Zander, you start to wonder, I mean, obviously, dealing with the Amazing Shot feels okay, but if you can target down that Lugia, what Pokemon is really threatening knockouts at this stage? You see all the Aurora energies committed to the Raikou. It's very difficult for the Amazing Destruction to come down.
I think the answer is none. None of the Pokemon.
I say we knock out the Lugia V-Star. We'll see if the resources are there. Double Power Tablet, Cram-O-Matic, believe Boss's Orders, all cards that are available in the hands. Maybe not the Boss just yet. Yeah, I don't see that piece, but plenty of other strong cards in the hand now.
With the way things worked out, the Choice Belt is on the active, so would need another Power Tablet to be able to take the knockout on that Lugia V-Star.
Or a Switch.
Or a Switch.
Okay, I was worried about the ordering there. Cram-O-Matic's a much better card than Quick Ball in this instance, and it is going to find the heads.
Oh, is there no boss in the deck? I think it's in the prize cards.
There is the POW Pad that we could see in this instance, and then maybe you can play all the cards down, just start drawing like crazy.
That's so risky, though.
Sees the big Parasol, thinking about future plays, but once you see all these Aurora energies played down, I'm not worried about Amazing Destruction.
Yeah, just one left. You have that heat fire energy, but that's all to really charge up, and that's not going to do it. Amazing Destruction takes 3 different types of energies along with the 2 colorless.
Just speaks magnitude to the awkwardness of that draw. If the Speed Lightning energy was still in the deck when those cards were drawn, it means that
Looking like
all
Pow
these
Pad's
attackers
option.
are ready. I do love this play here. Grab the Pow Pad. Give yourself an opportunity to find the right cards, and maybe you can close in on the knockout on that Lugia V-Star.
It's going to be a tough turn, though, because under a minute left to go. Zander's for sure going to take the entire time here. That means just one more turn to try to close it out. That means Billy's not going to play a Pokemon down. That's 2 prizes.
Like an echoing horn? Nope. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's tough. Definitely looks like a winnable game here for Zander. But maybe just not playing quickly enough to get the job done.
Well, it is a very intricate turn here. You're trying to put the boss's orders back in the deck, and you're sacrificing all your resources to try and do this play.
Yep, everything that you use to close out matches that you're slightly behind or even in, all those cards are going away. Going all in for the strategy to close out on the Lugia V-Star.
And with the timer run down, it's most likely going to be time here for both of our players. That means Zander would be turn 0, and then 3 additional turns after that. Double power tablet, draw 5. Found the other power tablet.
Looks like a Cramomatic as well, which could potentially find that boss's orders that was added back in with the Pow Pad.
Be another big heads here. Just keep spinning. All right, heads.
Well,
That means boss's orders will be able to be found for Zander. Can bring up that Lugia V-Star, take the knockout with the 3rd power tablet in hand. And then hope Billy plays down a Luminion V.
yeah. One time. I don't expect that from Billy. Billy is still in contention to make top 8, even with the tie. 31 points would go to 32, and then maybe a win-and-in situation.
Yeah, honestly, I think this would be a little bit different if Billy was also at 32 match points.
Yes, then both players may have made the gentleman's agreement about board state, prize cards, however it may be. This is a fantastic situation for Zander if he had 2 more minutes. Just really needed to announce the attack before the timer.
Yeah. There's that
Unfortunately,
last
will
power
not have
tablet
that.
taking the knockout on Lugia V-Star. Zander going down to 2 prize cards to Billy's 6. And I honestly don't think Billy has a way to take another prize card next turn as well. Radiant Charizard is in the discard from turn 1. That's usually your late game attacker closing out these big knockouts.
Yeah, there's 1 Aurora energy left. there's a Heat Fire maybe somewhere
Powerful
about.
colorless energies are gone. Archeops can't really get in there.
Giddy up, Stoutland.
Stoutland's in the discard.
That's right, he's
going
gone too. There's nothing.
And if only Zander had 1 extra turn here. We're still, we can still be surprised by the players. See how things shape up.
Oh, this hand goes nowhere.
And you see that dice there on that 1 pip. That means Billy is turn 1.
Is there a world where Amazing Shot occurs twice and Billy wins
Zander
with 6
ignores
prize
it
cards?
completely.
He just forgets.
Play to your outs.
Yep, that is a winning line, I suppose.
Quick ball in hand, discards that Lugia V-Star. See what you're working with here in the deck. Oh no, Stoutland's still in there. It's fine.
Okay.
Ringru can get some whap down going.
Bad news is if you attack with the Stoutland, you get knocked out and lose.
No.
So it's monkey time.
I don't know if there's anything this Primate Wisdom can find off the top to help Billy escape this tie here.
both players are understanding the situation as it is. Doesn't hurt to think about it for an additional minute.
Doing some math. Hey, time's already called. You got a little bit more time.
We're not going anywhere.
Well, it's a lunch maybe, but
This is, I mean, it is cutting into Pokemon Pictionary time.
it is, yeah.
So, unfortunate there.
Looks like a Ringaroo was the card found off that quick ball. Put a couple energy, or put an energy back on top of the deck. You can boss's orders, bring up a Genesect to stall around for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think Billy is really just trying to, he was playing around this Echoing Horn. Most Mew lists have it.
Yeah, you start to wonder, what are ways I can lose this game? And the only way you can win the game right now is Zander just passes thinking that he's turn 3.
Yeah.
So you played that out, which good for
or doesn't retreat the Mew that
yeah,
already attacked.
attacks with this Mew that can't do anything, and then
plays the
loses.
escape rope.
All these ways are terrible ways to win a Pokemon game, but I guess they are outs.
I think that I would win the game on what would be turn 4.
Yeah, and I think they're kind of discussing, yeah, I think I probably would have won if I had one more turn here.
I think everyone agrees with that sentiment.
Well, here is that judge from Zander. Both players shuffle in, draw 4.
Yep, Zander just going to explain the situation as he sees it. Don't know if both players had a conversation before going into this, but it is tough if you're Billy to say, yeah, you know what, you win when you actually have a chance at top 8 next turn.
Yeah.
Next round. So I don't mind the answer for either of these players in this spot.
4 cards for both players here at this end game. Nothing really left for Zander to do other than retreat. And I guess play the power tablet.
All right, we're just waiting for the missed retreat, right?
Yep.
That's it.
All right.
Oh. Billy just snaps his fingers. Oh, man.
Shucks.
Rats. And you go to the loss zone. Is that a double prize penalty? That's the only thing I'm seeing for Zander's side, too.
Yeah, Zander even has the escape rope in hand. But I think Billy is like, I'm at 31. I go to 32. I can win next round. We'll have to see how these players work it out here, but the game is over.
Yep, we'll let them have their conversation for a second. As we start to think about the rest of our tournament, we got one more round after this to see who will be making it into our top 8.
And
sure
it is confirmation.
The resolution that is going to be a tie.
Yep. And honestly, you can't knock Billy for that.
Not at all.
Yeah,
nope. If Billy had 30 points, then it's a different conversation. If he had 32, it's a different conversation. 31, you got to give yourself a shot.
Yeah. You got to do everything possible to keep your run going in this tournament. And Billy is doing just that. Zander, 1 turn away from taking the win and pretty much locking up that top 8 spot. Now is going to have to fight a little